Today on the podcast, we have an on-location interview that we will get to in just a moment. But before we do, I have to tell you about a show that will be hitting Tempe, Arizona on November 3rd of 2022. 3 incredible bands that you will not want to miss. From Denver, in the company of Serpents. Also hailing from Denver is the band Abrams, whose new album, In the Dark, is out right now. Also, on the same night, you will get to see the return of the band GOYA. You will not want to miss it. It will be held at the Palo Verde Lounge in Tempe, Arizona. I'm going to put a link in the show notes. And now, let's start the show.
This is Stephen Varnes from Nebula Drag. You are listening to the doomtombpodcast.
And now, Bruce McCullough, with an open letter to the guy who stole his bike wheel.
Well, why did you do it? Are you some sort of jerk or something? It's my front wheel. Well, what'd you think? That I'd drive home and not notice it was stolen? What are you then, some sort of prick? What would you do with just my front wheel anyway? What good would just one wheel be? Well, why didn't you buy your own wheel if you wanted one so badly? That's what I did. Jerk.
That was Bruce McCullough with an open letter to the guy that stole his bike wheel.
This is the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things within the heavy underground. My name is Chris, I am your host, and today we are going back to what we used to do all the time. The energy is different, and I miss it sometimes. It's an on-location interview. We should do more of these, right? I mean, yeah. All right. Now, with that, let's get into the interview. Here it is, right now. Well, this is going to be different because we are out at Yucca Tap Room in Tempe, Arizona. We have not done an interview outside. We've been doing so many phone interviews, and this is just weird. This is just so different, and what better way to kick off than a band from Santa Cruz, California. They have a brand new release. The release came out August 19th of 2022. It is Souls Awaken, and believe it or not, that is the name of their tour. I am with the band members right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Supernaut. Gentlemen, can you go around and introduce each and every one of you and what you play?
Hey everybody, my name is Sean Neiman. I play drums and I sing.
My name is Will. I'm not going to say my last name because it's too much, but I play the bass.
This is Oliver. I play guitar.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much. And this is a real treat because I finally get to see a band live and talk to them right afterwards. Sometimes I know energies are high. Now we have this album, Souls Awaken. Would you mind? Can we get right into it? Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic. Now, the first track, I thought this was interesting, and we got there's something going on here. I don't know what this is. There's something, I saw a little licking going on. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. So, the first track that we're going to talk about is Resist the Urge. Now, I felt a little starting out kind of thrashy, and pardon me, but I get a little bit of early COC Animosity vibes. Okay, guys, what can you tell me about that track?
Yeah, Resist the Urge. It's a lot of fun. Like a lot of our songs, it's kind of centered around a main guitar riff that just, and I could tell that one needed a nice, because I play drums, it needed a nice, more punky, thrashy beat. We haven't, in our past songs, we haven't done a lot of stuff that has that punky thrash beat with just the heavy kick in the snare going at it. So it felt good to finally get a song with that drum beat for me. And also to throw a cowbell in. I do quite a bit of cowbell in that. A lot of people talk shit about the bell, but I say you can go to bell, fucking go to bed with it. It's the fucking best. It's Bell Diablo, and that's my cowbell that I use. And so I throw it in there, and it's a heavy track. I make the bell heavy, and that was what I liked about it for drumming and singing.
All right, sir, go ahead.
Our friend Colton says it's the best new Minor Threat riff. So we're taking that.
It's the best Minor Threat song he's ever heard.
That is very much high praise, very much. And by the way, cowbell, absolutely. Who's giving shit about this? I don't understand.
Some guy, I remember some guys. It might have been the Doomed in Stone guy. Not to put him on blast or anything, but hey, I remember. Might not have been you. I'm just a crazy drummer man who just hears things and says things. So, but Bell's heavy. Bell's made of metal, and you gotta rock it.
I love a cowbell. I think it's like an underutilized sound. I think the people shy away from it because they think it's like a...
It is. Now, here's the thing. This is something strange because when I saw you on stage, I saw something very unique, and I hope you don't mind, but I was staring at your crotch a little bit, and I saw something about the IKF. Now, maybe it's a misspelling. Is it the International Kettlebell or Cowbell or Kettlebell Federation? Is it the International Kickboxing Federation? What do we got there?
So no problem with the crotch stare. After all these years, you got to be able to take some of the crotch stares, or else what are you doing? If you get sensitive about that, but it's for Muay Thai. That's I train Muay Thai. I fought in a tournament, and I like the pants. They make me feel powerful. They get me ready to kick some ass, and that's what I get up there and do.
They're good and flashy. I like them.
They are very flashy. It's something that I have not yet seen, and we're going to come back around to that kickboxing, Muay Thai. We're going to come back to that coming up soon, but we're gonna continue with the album. And the next track we have here, Raven's Call. Down a little bit, a little more vibed out vocal. This was interesting. The call of the bird is all you know. What can you tell me about this track?
That song is a fun one. I don't know, the riff just kind of like happened. I just went home one day after work and just started messing around with different fingerings. It's got some weird kind of chords in it that end up kind of sounding a little more pretty and melodic, and that was kind of what I wanted it to be. We didn't have the order of the album set, like, at that point, obviously, because the song didn't even exist. But
right.
But yeah, I just ended up wanting something that was like a little more like beautiful sounding. There's so much of the album that's like dark and heavy, and including some of the stuff that I've written as well. But yeah, that one I kind of wanted to have a little bit more of just a pretty feel to it. The same thing with the outro of the song.
I was just gonna say the end. It feels like a resting place. Like it's focused wandering to me. Like you can be in one spot, but yet you're journeying into different spaces.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the track, by the way. I think thank you. It's a great track. Oliver, anything to add?
That's one of my favorite songs. I'm big on that. I'm big on that Raven's Call.
And now, let's see. We're going to move on to, what do we got here? Ghosts Surround Me. Now, we had this little rest for the last track, and now we're back. And we're back full fucking throttle.
Drive you crazy. She's always playing my heart like a song, like a song, a song. Where do we go when the trail goes dark? I'm always chasing a rock like a dog, like a dog, like a dog.
What can you tell me about this track?
This one is a lot of fun. When I first started writing the vocals that first come in, I was kind of like, well, maybe this is a bit too cheesy for what we do. But the way the song ended up, it kind of just landed into this nice category of a more catchy style, but still maintaining this hardness that Supernaut is all about. And then and then we go into this really weird part, and we throw in a bunch of parts in it, which helps out if I think it's too catchiness about it to make it more interesting. And then just Oliver coming up with that beginning riff just set off the whole entire creative process for that one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that one was some kind of when you come up with new musical ideas, sometimes there's no spots for them, so that was a couple of those orphaned parts.
There you go.
Going into that one.
Interesting. So you had a few pieces and you kind of set it together to get some kind of cohesive unit.
And that was definitely the most challenging one for me to learn on bass, because I like to double a lot of what Oliver plays,
right?
To make it sound good and heavy. And yeah, learning those riffs was definitely the most challenging part, I think, for me.
It took a little bit of time.
It took some time.
You know, it's weird. I interviewed this band out of Barrie, Ontario. The band is called Aux. And one of the guys couldn't make it. He was in an Elton John cover band. And who knew that the bass lines for Elton John music was so hard, so intricate?
I love those bass parts. As a bass player, I think to me, especially... on the first show of the tour, we listened on the way there from Santa Cruz to Merced. We listened to a bunch of Elton John, in the car,
right
on the way there. Yeah, and I just think I don't know his name, but whoever is playing bass on Madman Across the Water, that guy is.
I don't know either.
Fucking crushing the whole time.
And I feel like as I age, it's like I appreciate it more and more. I didn't quite get it at the time because, when you're young, you're like, when I was young, it was like heavy, 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 and loud, loud, loud. And
right.
That could be some of the most awesome music that was ever created,
Totally. Yeah, and his band is always just so outstanding.
Super tight.
Yeah.
Super tight, whether he's wearing a Donald Duck outfit or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. something that I'm going to butcher here. Maybe. The Throne of Atahualpa?
Nailed it.
Ooh! Please, no further ado. Tell me about the track.
Okay, so that one was a lot of fun to do. Oliver comes in with this nice intro part, and we had that song was also challenging, like Ghosts. It wasn't one of those ones that just kind of flowed out, and we wrote it in one session. It was one of those songs that takes months, and the lyrics are basically about the last Incan king Atahualpa, and then Pizarro comes with his. It's about the colonization of that area, I really writing the lyrics. I felt this freedom to kind of go into a different expansion than the more typical heavy metal lyrics. I definitely tried to keep it metal and doomy and. Still some gnarly subject matter, but I feel like I could be more descriptive with my lyrics in that one, and that was a real treat for me.
Right on, absolutely, man. You know, there's something about it that chugging style riff. I felt an element of the sword, and yeah, that's always high praise. Please, we can't go wrong. Oliver, you had something you wanted to say about that track?
Yeah, this was just a song for us that we felt we could bring in some more literal parts of history,
right?
And then move with the ending of the reign of Atahualpa and the passing on to, you know, the end of an empire, which happens all the time. So
yes, it does.
It's one of those things that is always happening again in a different form.
Exactly. Now, if you were to take this album that you have and compare it to your past releases, how would you say you've grown? Because personally, when I see it and I hear it, I'm like, this release is so much more expansive. And it's not that I didn't like the other music at all. I loved it. It stays in the space. This gives me more time to wander with these tracks. Any thoughts on the progression of your music?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was incorporating the double bass pedal in this third record, which I didn't play double bass in our first record, Supernaut, and I didn't play the double bass pedal in our second record, The Green. So for me, for the drumming, that was the biggest change, and also just my skill level increasing in in the drums also helped me write better parts and a lot of the times more difficult parts to sing and play drums at the same time. For this record, it's the hardest for me to perform live. So it took a lot of practice to be able to start to get to a place where I can, you know, hit sometimes, you know, do all right live with the drumming and singing. But this whole record came from a very different place because we were experiencing things in our society that we had never experienced before. And as a band and as a scene, we're seeing the real outcome of when real shit goes down, how our peers, how our family, how people that we work with react to it, and all that gloom and doom really led to the formation of this record, which set it aside from the other records, which had less of a magnitude behind them, given that we were just kind of like making music for fun, and then we're very close to Santa Clara County, which was the first county in the nation to shut down, get locked down, all shows get cut off, and all that shit. So, yeah, this record definitely had a lot more realness behind it in that way.
Yeah, I've heard that several bands that, over the time that we had over the past few years have created something different, just moved forward, or got even more introspective and like personally, like there's moments at that when we were going through all that, like I don't know what's gonna happen, just don't know. Might as well get it all out. Might as well talk about it all right now, and like fucking just go for broke, Oliver, did you have something to say about it?
Yeah, when you when your life changes like that, all suddenly, and then you have to rethink your plans. That whole type of thing.
Totally.
You go back to the foundations of what things are built on, and then you rebuild as best you can. You work from there. So there was a time of that for our band as well,
right?
And we spent that time, focusing on new songs. When we had shows canceled, we booked more shows, and I think there's a part of that that's reflected in these songs.
Oh, truly. I can hear it. I can hear the difference. I can hear where you were, may say, like stretching a little bit. Stretching your chops, finding your way, finding things that really resonated with you. And let's see. So we were there and at the Throne, and now where are we going? Are we going to Black Claw? Is that next? Yes, it is. Black Claw. This was a little different for me, different for the album. I felt a little frantic, a little noisy, and the one thing that I really liked, it doesn't sound good, but it is, I was a little uneasy. I like that. I like it. I've talked about it. There was an album I got a while ago by this band called The Body. I actually felt fucking nauseous from it.
I love The Body, by the way.
Yeah, incredible, right?
Yeah, I think The Body are awesome.
There's such... I don't understand what devotional music is yet. I'm trying to figure it out. But if that's what it is, yeah, bring me more of that. And that's what I got out of this track. I thought it was really unique. And there is a piece from the solo at about the 2:30 mark that really, really fucking caught me. Absolutely loved it. Now, what can you guys tell me about this track?
This one was I've always been into the werewolf mythos and everything surrounded behind that with the movies and stuff, and so to think that it took me this long to write a song about all that is kind of crazy to me, but it finally happened, which I'm very happy about. Black Claw is the name of the track, and our family dog Oliver, the guitar player, and I, our brothers, is a black lab / husky. And his Black Claws definitely inspired the name of that song. As far as the music goes, it goes into a lot of different places. I actually wrote a couple of the riffs in the middle, like 4 years ago on bass. I was playing Skyrim high as a fucking kite.
Someone stole your sweet roll.
With two-handed berserker, and I just started down, started playing on the bass or whatever. And then it's just been sitting, and then I taught it to these fine gentlemen next to me, and like during the when it starts to break down into the first fast part, that's my riff until the basically until the solo, and then the ending I really got inspired from classical music for that ending there, the way it goes up and down, and the pauses and stuff, and just listen to a fuck ton of Mozart and crank that ending out. I knew that the song needed an ending, and one of the revelations I got from writing this record was endings. Songs need endings. They're so important. The ending needs to basically be its own song, and even if it's short. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun to do for me.
It's good from top to bottom. It's like, for me, that's one of my favorite songs to play because it's challenging. It was challenging to play to. It was also like very challenging to write to because there's so much going on. It gets into like some weird dissonant territory that,
right? Like
during the solo, especially, that was pretty fun. For me, at least, I get to get into some really like chromatic territory and just kind of like build a bunch of tension and yeah, just mess around with that. And I remember also, Sean, you were writing those lyrics multiple tours ago. I think that was like the first instance of a werewolf song coming about was the
that was in when we were in Oregon, and where was it where Old Dix is? What town is that?
Yeah, it's in that's Eugene.
Yeah, Eugene is when high in the parking lot notepad started to crank out some of those lyrics in the verse there.
Right on. So when you have something like this, now, is this a thing for you? Are you a fan of horror? Is there going to be more exploration into some other horror genres or some other monsters, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. That whole entire aesthetic and genre and all that is a big part of Supernaut. Like our first track on our first record is Crystal Witch Cave. That's what it's called. So we're all about boogieing down and getting scary with all that stuff, and definitely we'll see more monster stuff in the future.
Okay. So, last great horror film that you saw?
Well, woke up in the hotel room today, and it was like 12, crack of noon. These my lovely bandmates were still snoozing away, but the TV was still on from the night before, and popped on Slither, which I'm a huge fan of, directed by James Gunn. It's got it's awesome. It's a bunch of little, you know Slither. It's got a bunch of little, you know what I'm talking about, the slugs that eat everybody, and it's great. I love it. Great movie. So that was the last good one I saw.
Fair enough.
As far as new movies go, X, if anyone has seen X.
X?
Yeah, that movie is just incredible.
Tell me. I haven't heard it.
It's very like Texas Chainsaw style, like very 70s throwback.
I like this.
Yeah, but it's recent, and I just watched that. And
a little dirty.
It's very dirty, but would highly recommend it.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk after. I want to see that. Absolutely.
I'm gonna say the It remake.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Slaps.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I love it. Okay, so now let's see. Where are we gonna go? We're gonna move. Oh yes, nice. Brain slow. Fuck. All right. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Brain slow.
Evil vision.
lyrically, that song's it's about smoking weed so you don't have nightmares. And given the horror genre and me, I have fallen victim myself and realized that I've watched too much of that shit. And when I go to sleep, it comes back to haunt me. And so if I fucking smoke a ton of weed and fry my brains out, then I don't dream when I'm high. I don't smoke anymore, so I can't use that to my advantage. But yeah, that's basically what the lyrics are about for the most part. The second verse, "Ride the Cosmic Wolf into the White," is from like 6 years ago. "Burn your mind like candles in the night." That's like 6 years old, 7. Yeah, very, very long ago. Just that part. But then just predates
me.
G. William. And then going off into that the prog part kind of at the end when we start to pick it up and get faster, for me is just I knew that I wanted to make like a song with a really heavy, just trudging riffs and drums and all that, but I like picking it up and injecting a little bit of sauce into the whole entire mixture. So, and hitting those notes and then with the Oliver solo at the end, for me, it was just a really nice way to tie that one off.
Yeah, I think that Brain Slow especially factors into what we've just dubbed ignorant riffs, which...
Slow-ass ignorant riff.
Exactly, yeah.
Brought to you by Supernaut.
Yeah. But yeah, that one is definitely one of the most fun to play. I love any opportunity that Sean and I get to sing together, because I think that our voices always sound really nice together. And as far as the album goes too, that is probably one of my favorite productions. Just sonically, I think that it just sounds killer, and I will have to attribute that to our friend Troy. Not have to, I will, because because I should. But yeah, our friend Troy in Santa Cruz at Almost Islanders Studios, who recorded all of Soul's Awaken, just totally nailed that song. I think that it just sounds huge and it's great. And yeah, I remember when Oliver was coming up with that riff, and it was just something like we stepped outside to smoke or whatever, and we heard him playing it from inside, and we were just like, all right, so that's got to be a song. Like, that one works, yeah.
We got a live one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love that song. It's super fun to play. It's slow and ignorant, but then gets technical, and then also it's one of the only moments on the entire album that involves some serious improv, like when we get into that fast bit that kind of finishes off the whole second half of the song. That's all we're just jamming. We're just trying to see what happens and make it. And we do that every night, like on stage. That one's just all improv, which is super fun.
Thanks, Will. So now we go into this other track that this was one of my faves too. And we had this person, Corwin Ogaz, on the keyboards. And Doctor.
Quick shout out to Dr. Corwin Ogaz.
Dr. Corwin.
Yo, man, I don't think they heard you. Why don't you tell them what your name is?
Dr. Corwin.
You are missed, you are loved.
Ah, yes. Okay. And the track is Kaleidoscope. I got to hear it tonight, and when you were talking about doing harmonies, we had some harmony. I was waiting because I love that. I like the chorus part of this of the track. I feel like it's like one of the most psychedelic tracks of the album, with a bit of a heavier element to it, and that big feel of the chorus as it's happening. It just hits me in a like a psych or a heavy psych mode.
Yeah, well, Kaleidoscope, for me, was years in the making. Another one that took a while to come to fruition, but
Right.
It's based off of a Ray Bradbury story from his book, The Illustrated Man, which is like a collection of short stories. And there's one called Kaleidoscope that is just about astronauts floating out into space after their ship explodes, and just them communicating to each other through radio, and what like their last words to each other are. And that story stuck out to me, especially when I was reading it. And then yeah, so I decided that I wanted to write a song about that story, and it took me a few years to actually get going with it and figure out some riffs that I actually liked that sounded proper. And I think that chorus riff is actually all something that I came up with while I was playing along to some Fish, which I will openly admit.
No, look, dude, no judgment. You know, for a couple years ago when I first started doing this, I used to ask people, well, what's your guilty pleasure? What's your guilty pleasure music? What do you like? What do you like? And I realized I'm an asshole. Like, why? What does it matter? Music is music. You like what you like. I don't care where the inspiration comes. I don't care what people listen to. There's, you know, even like okay, there are times you're at home and I'll throw on, like on YouTube, like the singer-songwriters.
Sure.
You get a little Jim Croce.
Oh, love
Jim
Croce.
Fucking out.
Yeah,
dude,
Croce's great. Another, like,
5'6", 215, a bleach blonde bomber with a streak of mean. You can't get fucking lyrics like that, and don't mess around with it. All these cautionary tales, and whether it's that or Seals and Crofts or something, I think that if bands go outside their genre, you will find so much inspiration to bring back in and to further yourselves as musicians and actually further the genre.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's always been a huge one for me. For all of us, actually, is just, you know, I think that for the most part, our main sources of inspiration don't come from heavy music necessarily. We all love a lot of heavy music, but yeah, for the most part, you know, at least for me, yeah, my main influences I wouldn't consider necessarily heavy bands.
Sure.
You know, yeah, like they're, you know, there's like classic rock obviously and stuff that goes into that, but like at the end of the day, like, yeah, I like to listen to Fish, but then I also tune my guitar low because I think it sounds better. So
you like what you like when you like it.
Yeah,
that's all it is, brother.
And Kaleidoscope is a super fun song to play. It's like a big like I always wanted to write like a science fiction epic or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think that was like me experimenting with that, dabbling with that, because most of the
and I think
the arrangement is.
I do think you nail it, and when you mix that with the artwork of, is it Scott Gessler?
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Scott.
Oh, hold on.
Stand for a second.
Oh, yes, sir.
The guest appearance from the Jam Space Podcast.
Oh, hello. What the actual fuck is happening here?
Hudu Akil here is
you know that chicken
awesome.
will lick my big fat dude.
Okay, this is Zach from Hudu Akil. If we don't know, what the fuck? What is that?
This is my Bluetooth portable.
We got 3 microphones now.
That is absolutely delightful.
I could turn any party into my party just like that.
And so we got a party animal.
Well, I just wanted to ask you guys, what's your number one song to sing karaoke to? Because we got instant access to it right now.
Oh, okay. Does anybody?
Just gonna sing one bar of some karaoke.
One
what
bar.
would it be?
Will was talking Papas about singing some karaoke. He was like, there was a
What do you got?
$500 karaoke contest in Bakersfield, and
Yeah.
he wanted to get up there and sing this song.
I was gonna sing some Hank Jr.
What?
That was oh my God! Now I'm on the spot. Holy shit! Old Habits by
Old
Hank
Habits?
Jr. Yeah.
Type that in, see if we got it. All right, let's hear it. You got something? Wait.
This microphone has a speaker and everything.
Oh my goodness.
We seen you guys having such a good time over here that we wanted to come by.
Is this coming? Is it coming up?
It's playing. He kicked the habit of smoking. Is it not playing?
I don't hear it.
No?
I don't hear it.
Maybe not. Let me see.
You got to turn up something? Turn up the volume on it? There it is.
What's your favorite?
Oh, listen to this. Please pass the microphone over to him. All right, here we go. Impromptu here.
This thing I ever gave up was today.
Oh, very nice.
Oh man, I'm.
Hold on a second.
I need the lyrics in front of me.
Old habits like you are hard to break.
Yeah. All right, that was awesome, dude.
Alright, what's yours?
No, I can't do it. I can't do it, man. My voice is dusted, man. I can't steal your.
He's dusty.
I can't
That
steal your
is
thunder.
hysterical. That's fun. That's fucking fun, man.
Chris, I wanted to come over here and fuck with you while you're running your podcast, man.
I appreciate it, brother.
You got one?
Please. No. I got nothing. I got nothing, brother. I have no idea what that was, but I think we needed it right over here and right about now. Zach's an amazing person. He's very special.
Love that guy.
How can you not? Please.
Can't.
Love him to death. Now,
Dude, dog. Thanks for playing.
speaking of people that are just above and to the next level, may I say like a monolith, if you will. The next track is Monolith. Plotting. And until about that 225 mark. Then I get some like thrashy influence. What can you tell me about this track?
I gotta say one thing about Kaleidoscope. I gotta go back. I gotta
Please.
reverse a little bit. Okay.
Take your time.
Reverse.
We got time.
So friggin' Kaleidoscope. We were talking about Professor Corwin, my good buddy Corwin Ogas. He has been recording me for quite some time, and the keyboard intro I recorded at his house maybe like 5 years ago.
Right.
On my Korg Triton keyboard, which I love, and that came from an original piano part that I wrote on my great grandmother's old piano that we had at our my folks' house, and I wrote that progression, and maybe over 10 years ago, over like 12 years ago, the progression, and then around 4 or 5 years ago, brought it to the keyboard there. And then it just I knew I wanted to get that down, and we also were through the album we were talking about adding some stuff in between the songs, and we wanted to do an intro for Kaleidoscope, and I was just like, well, I have this, let's do it. And then so I laid that down, and then Oliver and Will kind of just noodled over it, and it ended up being this really nice, big, spacey, psychedelic intro, which I was so into, and so happy to get some keyboard on the album again. The only other time we have my Triton keyboard is on Crystal Witch Cave, the intro for that song, and then we did get grand piano on Owl for our last album, The Green, but
Right.
it felt really good to get some keyboard on that, but yeah.
Yeah, I also love that part. I think it was something that it came up after the song was written. We had already played the song out and done everything, and while we were making the album, we decided that would be a good thing to include. And also it has like a very much thanks to Oliver, like a a very like Maggot Brain kind of feel to it. It's like it's got a good spacey nature. Like
good pull.
You know, yeah, and I was really happy about that, and I thought that Oliver crushed it on that one as well.
I don't seem to see many things that he's not crushing. He's like a quiet fucking storm on stage.
Tends to crush it.
He tends to sit there. He lays in the pocket, and every once in a while, see the head bobbing around, banging around a little bit. But this guy, he stays in the cut, and just boom, just here, take some of these riffs. Enjoy these riffs, and why wouldn't you? Because there's no other way. You're just going to enjoy them.
I mean, he wrote like 80% of the album, I would say, probably. So that's also
Mr. Quiet Storm.
These guys keep me on my toes. I have to be on my best game playing with these two.
Absolutely, and how can you not? Now, we were talking about Monolith. What can you tell me about it?
Follow Me Fools. This song is a lot of fun to play for me. I really got into the drums because it's the drums that I wrote for this one are simple, but at the same time they just work in such a nice way that pairs with the vocals that I found really easy for me to perform, and just as making the song, it really worked. And I really liked writing the ending, because again I knew I was like, the song needs an ending, and I know it's drastic, but I feel like this will work if I just go into this drum thing and you guys just chug along. And we ended up I don't know if it's a key change at the end there, yeah, a little bit, and just bringing it down, and then I'm glad that Will came in with some harmonies too for that one, because for a long time this was a solo singing song for me, and then Will came in and during the recording process and was just, hey, I got some harmonies, and I was a little reluctant at first because it's my personal, it's my song and stuff, and then Will comes in and just crushes it with these harmonies, so I was really happy about that.
Yeah, that song is another one that's super fun to play, just because, again, like, yeah, we get to sing together, which I just think adds a whole different element to the structure of the set and the songs in general. And the Monolith is great, because I feel like where Brainslow is heavy and ignorant, Monolith is heavy and sophisticated. It's a little bit smarter of a structure, and it has a different kind of movement to it.
Yeah.
I really like that song.
And I'm a sucker for fucking harmonies, man. I just saw Ruby the Hatchet come through here recently, and I was watching like intently because she has a great voice as well. But the drummer kicks in with the harmonies. Higher voice than I ever expect. And I forgot. I saw them, maybe back in 2019 or so, maybe the January of 19. And so I haven't seen him for a few years. I kind of forgot about how much of part he is. And by the way, dude, I don't know. It's like every time I see a drummer take the time to sing, it seems so difficult to me. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's not much different than playing guitar or playing bass and singing, but it's just like there's something way harder. Oh, okay. Oh, sir. Okay. Well, can you tell me about like why it's so much harder,
limbs right there.
and how you are so much better than anyone else that plays? No, just all right. Can you just tell me about it?
I mean, I'll tell you, it's fucking hard, because for singing you want to be as relaxed as possible, with your shoulders down and everything, to let the flow, like the wind. And when you're playing drums, you're all tight. Everything tight, your traps on your shoulders and shit. So you're really defeating yourself when you attempt to play drums, and not like the band drums, when you're just sitting there like flow down to Nazareth, just 10:30 chilling. No, when you're like
Levon Helm says that it's easy, and I beg to differ.
I mean, he wears his war wound like a crown, but it's basically the whole entire thing is fucking awesome for me because I'm such a glory hog and I can't let anyone else have that sort of shine in this band. And we tried a long time ago before G. Williams' time, going through transitional phase to get a drummer and singer, switch it around where I would only do vocals, but then no one else could cut the mustard. I got high standards and been playing with my older brother Oliver for forever, so a lot of practice there, but still getting it down. There's still a lot I don't know. I never took drum lessons or singing lessons or anything, so I'm just kind of winging it up there, ladies and gentlemen, just winging it. But
we thought, what if we could have two Shawns, like one Shawn doing vocals and one Shawn playing
Call
drums?
the cops immediately.
That was the idea, but
the four-armed man.
We'll settle for one.
Four-armed man. Butt drummer will amaze you, but we have one Shawn. I don't know. That's just me.
Fair enough. And I like that. G. Williams?
G. William.
Is it? What is that? Can you explain that a little bit?
What is G. William?
I don't know.
That's interesting. I don't even think I know at this point.
Well, you're like a Mac. You're steady mobbing. You're a G.
Yeah. So that's what I like to think, is that's just my that's my name.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, when I hit the streets, is that all of a sudden I become G. William. It's not a self-appointed nickname,
right?
By any means. I didn't try to popularize this at all.
William. It's so the G. Williams when you're trying to be tough, but then Gwilliam is a little bit more refined. Gwilliam.
Yeah.
William.
Gwilliam has
Din is ready.
Do you think?
G. Will.
Now listen, G. Will. Do you think that because G. William, is that why you can channel Hank Williams so well?
Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's there's
it kind of feels like it.
Yeah, it's pretty simpatico. I get to lock in with that kind of sound. Yeah, with the Williams, it's a tribe. You know what I mean? We're our own sect of humanity. Indeed. Are the Williams surname or first name? We're a different breed, I guess.
Throwing down, as you should. And speaking of throwing down, we got to talk about this last track. So we're going into Empty Stage now. I'm curious because is this about you winning over a crowd? Is it about you leaving it all on stage, giving it 110% or whatever? What can you tell me about it?
About those things you said, but mostly it's about the empty stages that were present during the lockdown, and going back to what I was saying earlier in this interview about how this album is different from the other ones. This one's inspired by all those events that happened, and also our musical ability increasing. So Empty Stages is mainly about that lyrically. And that song is a lot of fun for me to play and sing at the same time, and I love closing with it. And I think that Oliver, when he first approached us with that first riff, I just knew that was going to be something that I would have a lot of fun writing and playing for people live. I really enjoy that riff, and that's why we're able to open and close the song with it, I think. And then we go into a lot of places in that one, like we do a Supernaut. No solo in that one though, which is fine.
Sometimes they come easy, and sometimes they come not so easy. That was one of the ones that came easy.
And that's a good point. We'll get to that. I'm sorry, G-Will. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't.
It's
There's no other way now.
Holy shit. Yeah. But yeah, that song to me, I just absolutely love. That was another one that came with Resist the Urge, where we played it for the first time, like after I hadn't seen these guys for a couple months, and they showed me that song. But that was another one that was just easy to write to. It was like as soon as I heard that riff, from Oliver, I was just like, there's so much melodic freedom across that entire song that I just felt like it was so easy to write a bass part to that. And yeah, Sean's vocal on that, the vocal melody is just incredible. It has like such good flow, and I love that song. I don't know, I always love playing it. It's like one of those ones that I just always get into. You can just dig into it and just feel like the meat of that song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, wow. Thank you for going over that track by track. One more question about this with the illustration. Is this illustration tied to everything that we went over the past few years? Does it mean something different to you?
The album cover?
Yeah.
So the album cover is from our buddy. His name is Scott Gessler, and he grew up with us in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and he's the same grade as Oliver. And so he just was always really talented at art and stuff, and now he's moving on. He actually just worked on the new Shazam movie. If you saw it, the dragon that swoops in the trailer, that's his design. And this guy's a super talented artist, and when he started to get into 3D art a couple years ago, I was really excited because I'm like, all right, here we go. He's doing a new medium basically, and he's going to be able to create so much realistic, awesome stuff, which he does. And the art isn't it wasn't made for the record. It was a piece that he had, and we contacted him and said, can we use this? And he's like, yeah, sure, you guys can use this. And so that was
fantastic.
Really cool that he did that, and really like the quality of it. And I mean, with all of our album covers, shout out to also Gabe Carr, who did the artwork on our last album, The Green, which everybody absolutely loves, and he made that one for the record. We commissioned him for that. And then the first record, Kira Dooley, again, all those three artists are from the area where we grew up, and they're all really talented, and I really appreciate all of the help that they made for us.
Okay, so let's go with something out of the box here. What is your go-to fact that blows people's minds? Oh, we're going to start with Oliver. Yes, sir.
I think one of the facts that I would go to blow people's minds about Supernaut is me and Sean have been playing music for maybe 25 years.
No kidding. Wow.
So just starting with pots and pans and little electronic keyboards and stuff. It's been a long time coming. So that blows my mind.
There's a symbiosis to that like, I guess you feed off each other. I mean, I look at it first like I didn't even think that you were brothers. I wasn't even in my mind at the time. It was like, no, they're just bandmates here, and they're just rocking out. And I've seen tons of bands that they can sense each other's and do a little nod, a little this, and you're like, oh, I know where you're going, I know where you're headed. I even saw it with Zach tonight in Hudu Akil. Mm-hmm. So, yes, sir. G. Williams, yes. G. Will.
Yeah, I think Oliver kind of 50% stole my fact, but that's typically the thing that usually blows people away after a show the most is when I'm talking to them and I tell them that Sean and Oliver are brothers because, yeah, they just probably haven't seen the last names on the albums or whatever. And
yeah.
So they're just like, oh, shit, those guys are brothers? But then also, I've had a lot of people think that I'm a brother, but only to one of them, which is super funny to me. It's just like that they never think Sean and Oliver are related. They think, Sean and I are brothers, or it's me and Oliver or something. I always think that that's funny.
Okay, Sean. Now, all right, before you say Sean, I would like to talk, because we're going to go back to the ICAF. There was a movie, and the quote was, hold on, let me think about it. Kickboxing. Maybe you heard of it? Sport of the Future?
What movie?
I'm asking you, do you know?
Kickboxing, Sport of the Future? Someone says that?
Yeah.
I no sé. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to do a visual.
Okay.
And I'm going to go off mic, and maybe you'll know. Okay? You ready? Hold on.
What are your plans for the future?
I've thought about this quite a bit, sir, and I would have to say, considering what's waiting out there for me, I don't want to sell anything, buy anything, or process anything as a career. I don't want to sell anything bought or processed, or buy anything sold or processed, or process anything sold, bought, or processed, or repair anything sold, bought, or processed. You know, as a career, I don't want to do that. So, my father's in the Army. He wants me to join, but I can't work for that corporation. So what I've been doing lately is kickboxing. As far as career longevity, I don't really know because, you know, you can't really tell. If you're 8-6 as a fighter, you know, it's no good. You know, you have to be great, but I can't really tell if I'm great until I've had a couple of pro fights. But I haven't been knocked down yet.
Oh, is that like...
I don't know, I can't figure it out tonight, so I'm just gonna hang with your dog.
I said $1 Million Baby.
No, it's no Makushla.
Kickboxing sports. Oh, is that like the guy holding the boombox outside the window?
That's a Say Anything.
Yes,
Okay.
Lloyd Dobler. He was a kickboxer.
That guy who's holding the boombox?
Yeah, that was him. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
That's John Cusack.
That's John Cusack, but Lloyd Dobler in the I think it's Lloyd Dobler in the film, and he was into kickboxing, and that's how he announced everything. So, kickboxing, maybe you heard of it? Sport of the future. Yeah,
It's part of the future.
Yes.
Hey, you know, it's important to be able to kick some ass. I do believe it is a sport of the future. It's like, out of all the sports goes, it's definitely the toughest. But in football, you hit harder.
Right.
But in like contact in fighting, it's just this is you and a different guy like fighting. And anyone that's done that before knows what it's like. But when it's regimented, like you're really fucking tired, and you get kicked in the head in front of your. And never mind, I'm not gonna go there.
Well, let me put it to you this way: do you feel that? Okay, here's a question: football, kickboxing, football, Muay Thai, because you're a Muay Thai guy, right?
Yeah, I do Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu, any of that shit.
So, which would you say is more graceful?
Definitely martial arts over football. Over football?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically I like to say it's if you've ever done choreography or dancing for some sort of production or play or music, it's very similar to
Indeed.
getting your moves down, with getting your footwork and shit, and twisting the hips.
When are you gonna start capoeira? That's the real. When is capoeira coming in?
Oh, that's the dancey shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I need you to quit dancing, baby. I quit dancing a long time ago.
You know. Okay. So anyway, we got sidetracked. What's your quote?
I need you to quit dancing.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. This I'm sorry. Wait. We got to say this one more time, because the guy is throwing out the garbage here, and he's rolling, and it makes a whole bunch of fucking noise over here.
Goddamn.
All right. Let me lean in. What is it?
I need you to quit dancing, baby.
I need you to quit dancing. Do you know that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
All right.
We watched this on
G will
tour.
know. Oliver, do you know?
I don't remember what the movie's called, but it's the Miles Davis movie.
Yeah.
Is it? Is he right? Yeah. Miles Davis movie. I don't know this. Talk to me here.
It's called Miles Ahead. It's got Don Cheadle and Ewan McGregor.
Ooh.
And it's basically an HBO episode.
Okay.
/ noir thing that just involves Don Cheadle, who plays Miles Davis, driving around with Ewan McGregor, buying drugs and trying to deal with record executives and all kinds of hijinks. It kind of like I think it's based on some truth, but it essentially feels like some Miles Davis fan fiction.
This is your last meal on death row. What do you have?
Halle Berry's pussy. No. I mean, probably that or chocolate chip pancakes. They pretty much the same thing, but either way, they're both sweet, delicious, fluffy. What do you want?
So you're talking about you just want to grab them cakes?
I love cakes.
Would you? Are you gonna put some syrup on them cakes?
If they're big enough.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can't put too much. If you put too much syrup, if you drench it, then they get cold. The cakes get cold. You can't have cold cakes.
You like hot cake?
You gotta have some hot cakes. So you gotta watch the syrup there. But
are you a butter man with that? With them cakes?
I'm like a Sergeant Honey Butter type of guy myself.
Honey butter on them cakes.
Yeah, because if you honey and butter, we learned on this tour, in Fullerton, California, that if
Yeah.
you put honey and butter on pancakes and eat them, then that means God will take away your sins and start to help you repent.
Well, hallelujah, praise the Lord, amen.
A sergeant told me that.
Yeah,
I love what you're saying, but I don't know what you're talking about. Okay,
you, dog.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I love this, man. I know it's getting late. Thanks for spending time with us here. Before we go, if you could just tell me what the plans are for the future of the band, and where can everybody buy everything and support you?
Yeah, so plan is we already got a good amount of the next record written, and we are planning on getting that rolling as soon as we get back home and keep jamming, keep working hard. We don't know exactly where we're going to record it yet or how long it's going to be, but it's coming soon. Some more music and hopefully tours to follow, and we're just going to keep grinding. We're going to keep working really hard, and I have a feeling that we're going to be working harder than ever after the momentum from this new record and this new tour. So that's what I see as us moving forward. And then you could like us on Facebook. We got we're all over the place, like fucking Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube, Instagram. But we're most active on Apple.
We're most active on Apple.
Actual. And Jordan Peele actually sucks. But and then what else was I gonna say? Yeah, that's it. Here you go. Well,
all right.
I would just like to say that the opinions expressed about Jordan Peele do not reflect Supernaut as an entity and are subject to the members of of the band. No, I mean, yeah, you said it best. I think that's the plan for the future. I think that at this point we're probably just thinking, like a few weeks ahead maximum, and just finish the tour and then get home and finish up on all these new songs and get some even newer stuff written that doesn't even exist yet, and make another album. And yeah, we're available everywhere. That's the best way to support us, is just give it a listen, download it, come see us on tour,
go see you live, definitely, because you're not gonna want to miss it live. I've seen it live for the first time that you were in Tempe, Arizona.
Indeed.
At Yucca Tap Room, and we all sincerely appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
Showing us what you do. Thank you, gentlemen. Safe travels, and we can't wait to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, brothers. A huge thank you to Oliver, Sean, and Will. Their new release is out now. It's been out for just a little bit. If you haven't heard, well, all right, you know what we're going to do, right? We're going to play a track, and the album, Souls Awaken, we know that. The band, Supernaut. Let's hear the second track off of their latest release. This is Raven's Call.
Yourself
made it. We're at the end. Fantastic. Thank you so much for hanging out. doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. That is how to reach us. Also, huge thanks, as always, to Ian from No Masters Audio for taking care of all things sound for the Doom Tomb podcast. Also, we mentioned it earlier, but November 3rd, 2022, Abrams in the company of Serpents and GOYA in Tempe, Arizona at the Palo Verde Lounge. It's $10 at the door. You're not going to want to miss it. I think it's going to be loud too, but just don't tell anybody about that, but I think it might be loud. All right, so also craniumradio.com each and every Sunday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a radio show. Just a standard show. Well, maybe not too standard, maybe substandard. Maybe you should lower your standards. That's probably it. Yeah, that one right there. We're going to play everything that you like and stuff you didn't know that you needed to hear. It happens every Sunday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. And then we follow it with a podcast. Most times. Sometimes I just have to play more music. There's so much new music out there right now. And speaking of, if you are touring or you've been to a show, something you want to talk about, something you got to get off your chest, send an MP3. We'll chat. We'll talk about it. Maybe we'll do a Zoom call. I want to know about how the touring is going. I dipped my toe in the water for booking some people recently, and I got to tell you, it's a daunting task. But, I'm hopeful that, things are better in other areas. I have no idea. Why don't you drop me a line? Let me know. All right. That's it. We're out. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Go out to those shows. Buy some of that band merch. And don't forget to stay heavy.
I tried the hard stuff, but I had to let all that go. But the toughest